Ken here, the unemployed prop guy. Here to talk to you about Jigs. Well, I'm only unemployed until tonight when I do a loadout of a musical from 9:30 p.m. till around 10:30 a.m. Then have a little nap, go to a union meeting. Then 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. as an electrician, I think. Yeah, the prop guy needs to be an electrician too to earn a living. Okay, so back to the jig. Well, I'm doing a little film, and it's a miniature 1/12 scale, and I need to make about 40 wooden pallets. Yeah, what I got here is basswood. I have 1/4 inch by 1/16 inch, which would be the slats here, and then these three little supports are 3/16 by 1/4 inch. And yeah, I need to make 40 of them, and I'm like gluing them up. How am I going to do that and keep it all consistent and square? Even though, like this one, I have a broken piece to give it a little realism, and I'm going to scenic them and all that fun stuff later on. So, yeah, I built myself a little jig. And what this is I use the basswood, my 1/4 inch by 1/16 inch, glue them on, using a square to make sure that they're all parallel to each other. And then I use which is the center supports, and I could slide them in, make sure that they're nice and tight up to the bottom, like so. And they stay in place. And I can start gluing. So I take a little glue, and then I have all these lines here and little dots so I know where to glue approximately. And I just add a little glue to them like so. Boom. And I'm using carpenter's glue. That just is a little pressure. It's perfect. And you just line them up. Little pressure. And the next one, the first two, I have them really close to each other for the look. And then, other jigs I use for this is I have the jigs. See, and I write on them jig. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And see, this one says jig 2. And I always use these when I'm cutting and spacing and drawing out the lines of something, because you want to use just one. Because I've had it before where I use a jig, I cut a piece, I use a piece I just cut for the next one, and it was just a little bit off, and then sometimes a little bit off on the next one, and next one, and eventually it could be inches off. So I always try to use the same one. So maybe one or two are not perfect, but overall they're pretty close to the size I need. I also use this little thing I made for the next one, and just add a little glue. Actually, I'm going to do a whole little talk about glue bottles. I have a thing about glue bottles yeah. So I add the next one, put my little spacer to give me the thickness I want in between. Add a little pressure, just do it by eye too, and it doesn't really matter because whatever. So yeah, let me do a little fast forward thing and show you really fast. I'm gonna do some music. When I do things like this where I have to make 100 of them or whatever, I usually like listening to Tool, because their one video, it looks like the Brothers Quay, and I just love it, and it's like miniature extreme, whatever. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I put a weight on it after it was done gluing, give it a little pressure. I carefully, and what this weight is just a piece of steel with another piece of steel I welded together, thick, stuff in between cement. Yeah, that. And it's a nice weight, and I added a little foam on there, boom, so I don't mar the thing. Some other things I built recently for this project is this is like a sanding block. Made out of a pecan repurposed wood that I get, and I used a little C47 part for the wedge, and I just have these strips of sandpaper that I put in there, and when I need to sand something, gives me a nice, Yeah, physics. Okay, so I got the jig. I got it all glued up. I now carefully separate it, pull it right out. And as you can see, there's some glue on there. And I don't really care because it's not going to be close-ups on this. But, you know, you just want to be clean. I'll just get rid of all the glue. I guess I'm going to scenic this and stuff. It's going to be cool. It's a little weird film I'm doing with some miniatures and dolls and about somebody looking for righteousness and truth and justice, and he ends up realizing he's a piece of junk like everybody. Okay. Another jig I use for this is I have a little piece of the basswood that I use, and I put it there, and I draw a little line. Draw a little line there. Pew. A little line there. Pew. And that's going to be for the center support. I add a little glue. And this is, like I said, the backside. Like this, you don't need a jig. This I could do by eyeball. Because there's only 3 of them, and it doesn't really matter. So that just gives it a little pressure. Yeah, you know, I would rather spend an hour making a jig for something that's going to only take me, you know, like, it's not losing an hour. Because that time you're working on the jig, you know that everything you build on that jig is going to be uniform, be perfect, or as close to perfection as we really need to get. And I'd rather spend time for that consistency, because it's frustrating when you have to, like, so you're not measuring 300 times something every time you're building. It's like you're building something new every time, and you know, depending on the process, you could do this, then go to the next one, and then combine them. It's just good. So here's another one. So let's see, how many do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 down, about 38 to go. So that is my jig of the day. I'm so funny. I'll catch you on the next one. And if you have any ideas of videos you want to see, let me know. Maybe I could talk about, you know, fake film money. This is a fake $100, but, you know, it says play money on it. See, it says play money. And, you know, interesting thing, a little while ago I had to work on a project. I needed a whole bunch of fake money, and the new printers and scanners doesn't let you scan money to make fake money. I guess, you know, the Secret Service now knows where I live, but, you know, I wasn't going to try to pass it, so you didn't hear this. Okay, bye, gotta go. Shh.